Darren, how do you think the players should feel about this whole thing being freezed again, the rules for this?
Look, there's a lot of confusion in what's going on right now, but I think it's all about leadership. And I was listening to the show earlier, and you guys were talking about leadership. I remember was acting Jets owner Christopher Johnson came out right after the policy hit, and he said, listen, if we're going to get fined, I'm going to make sure if a player does protest, I'll pay the fine, basically. The team will pay the fine, and we'll move forward with everything. But we're not going to fine these players. That's leadership. You have to have leadership in this situation. Not only that, but go about it as having a dialogue. I remember last year, and Jerry Jones took a lot of hit with the Dallas Cowboys for this. But he had a sit-down meeting with his players and talked about the bottom line and talked about the business side of things. And I know the owners have made a lot of money through this process, regardless of the national anthem. They made a lot of money. But there was dialogue with the players. And you saw it from the player side to say, okay, we understand the business side of things. We understand how this is affecting things. And we also understand that Jerry and ownership will be out there with us in the community helping us solve this issue. And I think that's where it starts. It starts with the dialogue up front.
You mentioned leadership, and I think that's the opportunity lost here, right? Because in my mind, we'll go back to the Jets example. If that's truly how the Johnson family decides to handle it, doesn't that, in fact, give them an opportunity the next free agency year to come in and say, hey, guys, who's got your back? Hey, guys, who's standing here with you?
Absolutely.
Hey, guys, and then all of a sudden, even if you're a franchise that hasn't been able to attract huge free agents, you become a franchise that is there for the players. It's the NBA culture seeping into the NFL. That was the opportunity that's lost here.
Yeah, I like how you define that. Darren, here's the thing. Leadership, first of all, is setting a standard and expecting others to follow you down that path, okay? The Jets and Christopher Johnson may say, we got your back, we'll pay your fine. Another team, let's just for theory say it's the Miami Dolphins because we know the headline wasn't accurate. It wasn't the Dolphins. We're going to suspend their team for 4 games. They were putting down their policy on paper. Let's just say, though, there was some team that said, you know what? You protest during the national anthem, we will sit you down 4 games. That's also leadership. Giving a standard, right, and saying this is what we stand for and this is what we'll do. That's leadership. It doesn't mean every kind of leadership is of equal value. There's better leadership than other, and I agree with you. And that may come as a surprise to some that I've advocated for. Just take a stand. Be a, have
exactly. Take a stand.
Take a stand.
That's
better leadership is working with the people you're hoping that follow you, right? In this case, be it the players. We want to go somewhere together. Let's go in a direction. I'll lead, but let's do it together. Let's communicate. That is better leadership. That's true. But what the NFL is doing is neither. They're doing the essence of following. They're waiting to see, and this is where our argument went, how something will play in PR, how everybody will respond, and then deciding. It's just not leadership. It's not good leadership. Right. It's not bad leadership. It's no leadership.
But we're in this position because they've punted on the chances to be leaders prior to this. And this is why this is so disappointing, because it feels like a step back from where we were going. When we had that sit-down meeting with the owners and players in, I think it was December, when they got together to discuss a lot of this stuff, that was the first time in a while because you know this, the players and the owners, that's not always a very amicable relationship. There's a lot of tension that stems from a lot of other business-related issues between the side of the PA and the league. And it felt like for the first time the players had some real power. Their voices were being heard on this issue in a way that is not normal in the business proceedings for the NFL. And now this all feels like a step back because we had that moment there and then the spring happened. And then they voted on this rule that only sought to, instead of bringing people in, making them part of conversation, it turned it adversarial. It said, no, we're telling you what to do again. Don't forget how the game goes.
Yeah, and listen, I'm a business owner back at home. I own a business, and it's, I've got a few employees. You will never make everyone happy. You just can't. And as a leader, it's your job to set precedents. It's your job to figure out what are my employees' pain points. That's my job as an owner. So what do I have to do? Sit down. It can't be a dialogue that I'm having between you and you're going off and having it with Will Kane. It has to be straightforward, eye-to-eye type of dialogue. And I think that's where the leadership needs to be with it as far as ownership.